And welcome back to Geek Out Virtual. I'm your host, Mix Danny, calling in from West Las Vegas Library. I'll be your primary source in the library district for your latest geek-related news, including gaming, anime, and the such. This week, we are going to be discussing anime, and more specifically, which ones got postponed, which ones I recommend, the works. Now, let's start ahead with our anime release dates that have been postponed due to the current worldwide situation going on, but because there is quite a few of them, I'm going to go ahead and have them roll in front of the screen here, and if you'd like to pause to see which ones have which dates, then be my guest. Let it roll. And we're back, it seems. On to our next subject, we're going to be talking about some of the most popular animes that have either been released this anime season or will be released soon. Our first series is Fire Force, which picked up again on July 3rd. This season is going to have 24 episodes. For those of you who are not familiar with Fire Force, it is about Shinra, the main character. He has the ability to shoot fire out of his feet. Now, that might sound a little bit weird, but there actually are a lot of characters in this universe that have the ability to use fire in some shape or form. Think of firebending from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It's like that. Now, Shinra's specific superpower is called Devil's Footprint because, again, fire comes out of his foot. Anyways, he decides he wants to be a fireman because his family had died from a spontaneous human combustion murder, also known as infernals, again, in this show. And he wants to become a fireman to fight off these infernals because they are destroying the world, catching everything on fire, etc., and no one knows where they're coming from. Yet. And so he decides to join the Company 8 firefighter team to save the world one fire at a time. The characters are really interesting. I'm always bad with names with the characters, but these ones are really quirky. They're cute. You got your typical Goku and Vegeta relationship between Shinra and Arthur, I think he goes by. He's a little angry blonde guy. No, not Bakugo, My Hero Academia fans. He's his own little nightmare. Anyways, feel free to check out the show. It's really cool, and it's a lot of fun. On to Food Wars. Food Wars, the fifth plate, so the fifth season. Interestingly enough, last season, really it was the same season. They only released the first 2 or 3 episodes of the fifth season, and then they stopped because, again, everything going on. And it will be released, or it was released April 10th. It will have 13 episodes. This is definitely an interesting show. Soma, who's the main character, wants to be the very best that no one ever was in regards to cooking. He gets sent to a cooking academy by his father, who turns out to be a really famous chef that everyone's in love with, and everyone's like, how the heck are you related to him? Anyways, and it pretty much is how it goes. He has to go against all these cocky teens that are from all over the world, from prestigious families who are chefs and French, blah, 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 blah. And he's just some guy who worked in a Japanese ramen-like shop with his father. So he's looked down upon, but it's a pretty interesting show. It's nothing but umami. If you have no idea what that means, just watch the show. You'll understand after the first 10 minutes of the show. Now, this show is going to make you uncomfortable. It is weird, but man, are you going to be starving halfway, really all the way through the show, because all the food looks absolutely amazing. If you ever wanted to eat Miyazaki food for the Miyazaki movies, that has nothing compared to Food Wars, so check it out. On our next anime series is Re:Zero, Starting Life in Another World, 2nd season, part 1. I feel like I'm already burnt out from this reincarnated into another world scenario. I hope this trend moves on to anything else. Now, Re:Zero did come out on July 8th, but there is no actual known number of episodes. If you're familiar with the trope of reincarnation brought into another world, this is the same exact story, except there is a catch. Subaru was brought back to life in a different dimension. When he dies, he actually comes back to life repeatedly in this new world via checkpoints. But the real catch to it is he feels his death every time it happens, and he's the only one that remembers it. So it does get a little psychologically messed up after a little while. So as much as I don't like the reincarnation trope, this may be one to consider looking into. On to our final show for this discussion. It is Fruits Baskets. It will be released it was released April 6th. There will be 25 episodes. This is actually a reboot of the original Fruits Baskets. Now, the sum up of it is Honda, main character. I just realized that a lot of these anime characters are named after Japanese cars, so that's even funnier. Anyways, Honda is homeless because of her mother passing away, and due to various scenarios and situations, she finds herself living in her school's popular kid's house, Yuki, and she discovers Soma, the family's dark secret, that all of the family members are descendants of the Chinese zodiac animals. You did hear me correctly. Yes, they are in fact animals, but there is a catch. They only turn into animals as soon as they are hugged by the opposite gender that is not within the family. This anime gets a little bit dark. Now, the original manga actually got released in 1998. So to give you some really good math, I was 7 years old when the manga came out. It did finish in 2006, and it was made into an anime in 2001, but only aired for that year. It ended in December of 2001, and at least my generation of fans were absolutely enraged because it ended on a huge cliffhanger that the manga obviously had continued past, and everyone was like, what the heck is going on here? What? Anyways, it did get rebooted April of last year and is currently still going. It's cute. It's a bit more of a romantic drama than anything, but some of the characters and really the family history of the Soma family is really dark and interesting. So if anything, check it out for that. Now, on to a little skit. Now on to Danny's Back in My Day as a Geek.
Back in my day of being an early to mid 2000s weeb, you would go to a convention, a local convention. Here in Las Vegas, it was called Anime Vegas, run by a local interesting person. In fact, back when I was a child, it was held at the West Charleston Library District for the win. Anyways, when you would go to these anime conventions, you would see Naruto's as far as the eye could see, all the way down the artist alley. But the real legendary artifact that is truly mid-2000s glory is the infamous Yowie Paddle. Now, what is a Yowie Paddle, you might ask? Well, it is my generation's absolute shame. But if you happen to wield one of these paddles, you are God. It looks like an oar that you would use to, paddle a canoe. And on one side of the flat surfaces, the part that would go in the water, would say something in regards to anime shipping. Yowie, Yuri, other variations, but those, no one cared about those. You wanted a Yowie paddle. And people got so aggressive with these paddles, they ended up being banned. Oh! Wait until you meet a millennial with a Yowie paddle chasing a Naruto and a Sasuke down the anime convention aisles.
And welcome back for my very sad attempt at being funny and old at the same time. Anyways, I want to go over some random animes that I found during this whole script writing of my show that I really needed to share with the world. The first one is an actually really interesting webtoon origin anime that is going to be released on July 6th, so actually it's already out, on Crunchyroll. It's called The God of High School. Now, I didn't really get what it was before I watched it, but pretty much there's going to be a countrywide tournament where high schoolers, that you're never really clear on that, because if you watch the first episode, no one actually looks like they're in high school, but let's go ahead with the anime logic here. You either look like a middle schooler or a full-grown adult when you're in high school in Japan. Not sure why, but anyways. In the God of High School, there's this tournament, and whoever wins gets to get a wish granted from God. Now, it is unclear whether or not this is metaphorical because the company that is running the tournament is called God, or if the guy running it is actually a god. Unclear. there's not much to go on. I couldn't find a lot of information on this show. I couldn't even find the age rating, so I'm going to go ahead and just put that warning out there that there is no actual American rating for this show, in the sense of who can watch it. Now, to sum up what the show is like, the art style is like Digimon, but grown up. And it's got slapstick humor just like Fooly Cooley, and it was absolutely hilarious to watch. It was super funny. My only issue is the noses. I will show examples of those noses, but I don't understand why the noses look like the way they do. It's normal to have one character with a weird nose, but then to have every single character have a weird nose, and for some reason they're all blushing. Why are all their noses blushing? But anyways, besides that, it is quite humorous. It is entertaining. It is available on Crunchyroll for free. Anyways, on to our next show. That was not a show, it's a movie. And I can't wait to see it. It's going to be available on August 14th. It was postponed until August 14th. It's supposed to come out in July or something. But anyways, it's called Butt Detective. You heard me right, folks. Butt Detective. It's based off of a children's book. Its actual name is Oshiri Tante, which I know I pronounced that very wrong, but it is a children's picture book, and it's about this detective who has a butt face, an actual butt face. I have no idea what else to expect from the show. I saw a little trailer of it on YouTube. If you want to check it out, it's assumedly PG, but it's so... I'm being very immature, but quite honestly, Butt Detective, that sounds absolutely fantastic. So chances are I'm going to check it out when the movie releases a little bit later next month. Except for Butt Detective, every anime that I've talked about today is available on Crunchyroll, which is, for the most part, free. Just go to crunchyroll.com. You can watch all the anime that's available on the website. If you don't pay for the extra, like, membership, you do have to watch a few ads, but honestly, that's just TV. So Crunchyroll is a pretty good source. On to my e-resource recommendation of the week. I am recommending Overdrive. It is pretty much not really streaming, but you can read a lot of ebooks, audiobooks, graphic novels, and such on this database through our website. And it does have a manga collection. Very specifically, it has the entire Naruto manga series, all of Dragon Ball Z. I think I even saw Dragon Ball in there. So if you want some origin stories on Goku, definitely check it out. And for my more mature audience, Dead Man Wonderland is also entirely on Overdrive. How you get to this website is you go to our website at lvccld.org. Then you're going to click e-resources in the middle-ish of the screen. Click A to Z e-resources. Scroll down all the way to O for Overdrive. And then with your library card, you can access all sorts of anime and books and audiobooks that you may enjoy. And that is on this week of Geek Out Virtual. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you again next week. Farewell, mortal humans. And we're out. Hello. Hello. Hello, and welcome back to Geek Out Virtual. Instead of spelling out each and then... cut out.
Last time on Dragon Ball Z, Goku and Vegeta were fighting over who had the squarest butt. Kakarot, how dare you insult my Saiyan princiness on how rectangular my booty was? You are the square booty!
Vegeta, I don't know what you're saying, but
Obviously, being the legendary Super Saiyan besides Broly, you are more angular than me. No! No, I shall not accept it! Bulma loves me and all my ugly beanness. We will fight! Goku, you have gotten much stronger. I will have to go into Ultra Instinct. You will never defeat me in such a small form, Vegeta. You leave me no choice, Kakarot. I will have to bring in the heat. Oh! Oh! Oh no! I am the ultimate Saiyan, Kakarot. Kneel before your praise. Vegeta for the win! Back to our scheduled show of Giga Patrol!
Now on to Danny's Back in My Day Geek session. No? No, wait. I need a plushie. Where is it? You can pause when you'd like. Until then.